Joining us now to talk more on this is Ruse Moleshe, energy expert. Ruse, very good afternoon to you. Thanks very much for your time. It would seem that this is as daunting a task for Eskom as it is for these people who want to comply.
Exactly, it is. Because if you look at the figures, in terms of the number of people that are zero buyers, it's about, I think, 1.7 million. And they are saying the people that have come forward so far are around 400,000 or something like that. So there's still a significant mountain to climb with respect to getting everyone to comply. And part of it is that there will be those penalties. There will be requirements to pay those who were non-compliant. So we'll see, time will tell whether they will come forward and what impact it will have, because they still have until sometime in December, early December, to come forward.
I guess, I mean, even it'll present, I mean, if they don't get it right, it's going to present even more of a headache for Eskom, given the fact that their total customer base has now increased from 6.9 million to 7.2 million.
Yeah, so basically the biggest challenge, I think, that it will impact on load reduction because of the fact that when you have people that are not paying for the meters, but they are consuming the electricity, the infrastructure, you normally have to size it according to demand. So there's demand that is unaccounted for. And therefore, you end up reducing that load, even for people that are paying for electricity, which is what the minister was saying is going to impact on them, what is happening. And the second part is on the tariff, because he was calculating that per household is about 1,200 a month. And then if you multiply that by the period, you find that with the 400 now that have come forward, that they have significant revenue, about 400 and something million, that they will be able to collect as a result. So imagine if they could get all the other ones as well.
Well, they're losing at the moment 2.5 billion per month due to people who are using electricity unlawfully.
And it translates into costs for you and I in terms of the tariff that we pay. So they are not sharing the burden.
Of course, I mean, there are those who have said they've tried to come forward, they've tried to comply, they want this matter sorted, but they've had to line up offices that, I mean, in queues that stretched, and in spite of, noble efforts to try and do the right thing, Eskom has at times struggled to cope.
Of course, the Eskom will struggle to cope. It's quite a number of people coming in at the same time, and an unplanned issue, if I can put it that way. So it's going to be a struggle to go through the backlog and eventually be able to assist. Remember that also people waited until the 11th hour to be able to come forward. This has been announced over a year ago. So as South Africans, as you know, whether it's revenue services or anything, we often go at the very last minute. So it's going to be a struggle to work through it. But I think they should be patient so that in the end, it will be good for South Africa to be able to collect. Also, I think for people who cannot afford, the so-called indigent people, the minister was proposing that once they have those meters installed, they'll be able to identify them. And they want to introduce policy where they don't go through the third party anymore, which is the municipalities, where the money is used for other things. And they want to credit that directly on the meters. So that should be an incentive. If you claim you can't afford, that's an incentive for you to come forward.
But is this system, new system itself, a sort of, what's the word, future-proof? In other words, will it take into account, or will it make it impossible for people to cheat the system the way they have done so in the past?
When it comes to technology and people that are working inside and have their know-how as they have done in the past, because if you recall what he said in terms of the people that are not paying, some don't appear to even have meters. It's different circumstances. Some have reached the meters. And so we don't know really, the proof is in the pudding in terms of whether when they come forth that there will not be those that can still be able to cheat the system. But the disincentive is that if they come forward and they are penalized, and then they do it again for the second time, if they do it for the third time, then you are likely to be out of Eskom's system. Maybe you don't care if you have a way of getting in, but for those who are not sophisticated, there's that disincentive.
Well, we shall see. Ruse Moleshe, thank you very much for your time. Really appreciate it.